And we're back, Jonathan.
Another episode of Road Code.
We are on episode 23.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say, is this the halfway mark? No, there's 52 weeks. So it would be episode 26 would be the halfway mark.
Wow. That would be half a year.
Half a year of recording.
So
kind of cool.
That's literally in 2 weeks, huh?
Yeah. So we're on episode 23. You know what I'm thinking? You think we can pull off having a guest every 5 episodes? Let's start with some merchandise.
Oh, yeah. So on our website, the Road to Code.
You want to share your screen?
Yeah.
Or share your browser?
The Road to Code.
.net.
We have our official merch, where you can get either a women's t-shirt, a regular t-shirt, a tote bag, or a coffee mug. And it has our nice logo on there. But if you want to be on the raffle to get one for free, all you have to do is subscribe if you're not already, or if you're already subscribed, comment on any one of our videos.
That will automatically enter your name into our raffle that we hold at the end of the month. It would be every last Sunday of the month, right?
Yes.
Very cool. And so, we kind of started a little late with telling people about the raffle, and we had to do a couple of things here and there. One of the things that we had to do was we had to figure out a couple of things. And one of the things we figured out is that we probably can't ship this to people outside the US. So it kind of limits us to US only. The other thing is that the likes didn't really give us who you are. So we have to have you comment. And if you have nothing else to say, what can they put in the comments, Jonathan?
Show me the merch.
All right. So that'll tell us who you are at least, and then we can grab your username. We can message you, let you know when you won. And if you subscribe, obviously, if you just subscribe, then that automatically gives us your contact, so that we can message you and let you know that you won. Subscribing automatically enters you into the raffle, or if you're already subscribed, like you said, give a comment on one of the videos, any of the videos. It doesn't matter if it's episode 1 or episode 99 on season 100. I don't know. So yeah, you want to stop sharing, and let me share mine. So yeah, so during the pandemic, I went through and created some videos at thinkster.io. These videos are for .net, and you can go ahead and click on .net and then search for my name, ASP.NET Web API with Victor Campos, where I talk about creating web APIs using Visual Studio 2019, ASP.NET, or ASP.NET Core and .NET Core. And so in these videos, I talk about creating authorization and authentication API calls. And you don't hit the paywall until you get down to the login. So it's quite a bit of ways. It's probably more than half of these videos that are available for free. If you go to thinkster.io and you click on Pro, you can join for as little as $24 a month. So please head on down over, learn about creating web APIs. where you'll create an authorization and authentication system using Web API from scratch. We don't use any other frameworks other than the built-in encryption and the data access entity framework, but you get everything from scratch. So check it out.
Cool.
Oh man, what have we been doing and where are we at now?
We are still working on basically what we started. We did the ad, and now we're gonna do something else.
We're gonna be editing.
Editing.
Yeah. So I think on this one, what we need to do is we need to talk about a couple of JavaScript concepts. And I've been looking at how we're going to accomplish what we need to accomplish here. And let's go ahead and open up your solution, open up the React project. So you're gonna have to open up both Visual Studio and React so that you can run the API. Oops. And also run the React application. Yeah, you can just leave that running in the background. And let's go open up Visual Studio. Yeah, so the homepage basically brings up the list of significant birthdays, right? And then you can click on the add menu and that'll take us so that we can start adding. So you can go back to the list. And essentially what we did last episode was we fixed the navigation menu, right? Because we had our hamburger menu wasn't working when we would switch it to a to what do you call it?
Mobile.
The mobile device or the mobile emulator. And so we were able to get that working. So that was kind of fun. There was some good tricks, some good troubleshooting that we went through and whatnot. But let's go back to Visual Studio Code for a moment. And I want to talk about this handle change event. Okay. So this handle change, so if you highlight handle change, actually, if you just double click on it, it'll highlight only handle change. And if you scroll down to the render method, you see how it's highlighted there. On change is equal to this dot handle change. So this is on an input control, right? And the input control has an event that's called on change. And so what happens is that this event is what they call a pointer to a function. So this event is just something that happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever something changes, it fires off the on change event. And what you're indicating is that when this event fires, you also want to fire off the handle change function. And so the on change event checks to see if there's any handlers that are handling the event. And if there is, it fires off those functions. So we created the handle change. There's also, if you scroll down, there's also handle click, right, on the button.
Yeah.
So the same thing, the button has an event called on click. And when that event fires, it checks to see if there's any functions that are pointing to the event or that the event is pointing to any functions, and it fires off those functions. So if we go look at those two methods, the handle click and the handle change, let's go scroll up to the top. You'll notice that we created the handle change, which is a function. So it's indicated that the open close parentheses with the E in it is a function, and that function receives a parameter, and we call that parameter E, right? Which it stands for event. So what happens is that the event calls this handle change function that says, oh, by the way, here's some more information to make it easy for you to be able to do more stuff with you, with your function. And so we take advantage of that event argument or that parameter. We go and say, well, what target is this for, and what is your ID, and what is the value of the target? And we grab those two, and we're able to go and set our state and change our state, and then eventually go and call an API that saves the information, right, based on what's being saved on the text box. You with me there so far?
Yeah.
Okay. What we want to do is we want to use a click event or a hyperlink event or a click of some sort to be able to go and grab information and pre-populate this particular form that we got to edit something, right? So we need to do a couple things. One of them is we need to figure out how to pass a parameter to this form, to this page, and go and grab the contents of that parameter and be able to display the information. So if you could bring up the Chrome browser, let's go do a quick search on something. Let's go search for React router DOM. Yeah, go ahead and click on that. And if you see over on the left where it says examples, we have the basic example, which we already use. We use that basic example to come up with our navigation. Now we got to go and pass parameters. So if you go click on the URL parameters, we have some code in the center, and then over on the right we have the example, right? So if you click on Netflix, it says, oh, you clicked on Netflix. So if you click on Zillow Group, you clicked on Zillow Group, Yahoo, Modus Create, right? So let's go see how that happens. So you can see here in the center of the code, we're calling this Netflix URL. And then the second one is Zillow Group, Yahoo, and Modus Create, right? But you'll see the switch. The switch has an ID in there. And that particular ID is kind of the same way that we did the web APIs. Remember the web API? Can we open up Visual Studio just for a moment? And is this the web API? Let's go. You go ahead and shut this down for a moment so we can see the Explorer, the browser. And if we go look at controllers, if you open up the controllers folder and go look at the birth dates controller. So in here, you see on line 50, or even line 15 has it as well. You see how we do birth date ID : integer? And then we're also doing it on line 36, birth date ID : integer. And then line 50 also has it. So it's the same concept where we're passing in parameters. We're passing in data that's going to change, and we need to go and pull that data from the URL. So let's go back to the Google Chrome.
Oh.
Did we close it?
I think I did.
Oh, no, there it is. So they're doing the same thing. They have a route that says, hey, whatever route you're going to, we're just going to go ahead and interpret that by an ID. And that ID is going to be replaced with whatever is in that URL, right? So we're going to need to do the same thing. We're going to have to create a path for that ID. So let's go back to Visual Studio Code. And where is our browser? Our browser, I think it's in the app.js. Yeah, here we go. Scroll down a little bit. The nav bar. Oh, no. Is it in the index.js? No. No, it has to be in the app.js. App.js. Oh, yes, yes, because we're using, yeah, there's so much stuff in here because we're using Bootstrap. So let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit. So line 25 is where our nav starts. And then line 27 has a link. Line 42 has a link. Let's scroll down. Line 42, line 45. Oh, here we go. Line 58 has our route.
Okay.
All right. So when we call route with the add, we call our edit birthday. But we can also call the path, and we can call the edit birthday with an actual parameter in the URL. So let's copy 56 through 58 and we'll put it after line 58. So this basically returns two things. One is the initial state, which is person, and then update person. So the update person is what's going to be getting what we're going to call to replace whatever we have in there. Oh man. Okay, let's see if I remember how to do this. So the other thing that we need to do is now we can use param. So let's go grab, so let's go import first. Let's go and do an import on line 2. Import use param. Yeah, from React Router. So let's go ahead and after line 10, another empty line. Let's constant ID equals use params open close parenthesis. Yeah. That was the example, right? It's a third tab.
Oh.
Scroll down to the bottom. Yep. Oh, so you had to put it inside of the curly braces. Up on the address bar, put /edit /2. Because that's ID, that you don't have an ID 1. Look at that. ID equals 2. So basically it just got that 2 and put it there for you, right? So let's go back to the list and let's do the same thing. Let's bring up, well, let's test it a couple times. Let's put 3, 4, 5, 6, all that stuff. So on the address bar, /edit /3.
There we
Okay.
go.
So it's working. It's working the way we expected it to. But my question is, if you click on list, oh, okay. Significant shifted a little bit. Okay, that's fine. Click on add. Interesting how it shifts a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
All right, we won't worry about it too much. This is not any production. We're trying to get functionality out of it. So we're fine with it. That's cool. Okay. So now let's go back to Visual Studio Code. And let's go to edit birthday 2. And so what we want to do is inside of the div on line 16, we want to be able to display that form. So let's go and copy edit birthday JS. Let's go copy that whole, what displays the birthdays. So go to edit birthday.js.
Oh.
And let's scroll up a little bit. We want to, now inside the render, we want to grab from line 31 and let's go down. Let's see how far we want to go. We want to get this. All the way to the end of the render. We want to grab all the way to line 89.
Oops.
Grab that. And let's put it over, paste that in line 16 of edit birthday 2. You get rid of that ID equals ID. In fact, go ahead and Control Z. You can get rid of 15 through 18 and then paste in what you just copied. Perfect. Yeah. And let's go scroll up a little bit. So after line 12, give me a couple of, or give me one new line. And what we want to grab, let's go back to edit birth dates. What we want to grab is the handle click, is it? No, it's not the handle click. Let's go look at app.js. And let's scroll. Significance, hang on a second. Where do we load the list? Oh, birthday list, sorry, it's actually birthday list. We want to grab 14 through 20.
Okay.
Yeah. And let's go over to edit birthday 2. And go ahead and paste that right there, right on line 13. Okay, so the only thing that we need to do is we need to change the Axios get HTTPS localhost 4440 or 44352 API birth dates. And I think that we what we need to do is we need to go and figure out how do we plug in that ID into that URL that's API birthday. So let's go look at the Swagger API, and let's go look at the API documentation. The Swagger, this other one. I think you have, yeah, that one right there. So you see how you have get and you have API birthday. It's a third one, birthday ID. So go ahead and try it and plug in 3 or 2 All right. You see the URL, the request URL?
Yes.
So we need to copy that, and we need to replace that to with our variable ID. So copy that, and let's go back to Visual Studio Code. No, copy the whole thing. Yeah, there you go. And then go back to Visual Studio Code. And let's go ahead and replace that URL on line 13, replace it with what you got in your buffer. The only difference, yeah, let's put it back in one line. The only difference is that we need to replace that too, right? So we're going to have to replace the single quotes with the backtick. Remember the backtick, which is the little quotation next to number one?
There you go.
Yeah, replace it with that. And then replace the number 2 with a $, open close curly braces, and then inside the curly braces, ID. All right. So that should call that URL. And then when we do get it, we're going to call on line 16. Line 16 is going to be calling update person. No, so instead of this dot state, it's update person. And then birth dates is going to be replaced with person. And hopefully that works. Oh, it's lowercase p, person. And then after line 18, oh, semicolon at the end of line 18. 18.
Oh.
And after line 18, let's go ahead and do a console.log person. So person goes inside of the and there's no space. Yeah. Let's run this and see what we get. Let's see if this thing even works. Okay, so Axios is not defined on line 13. So we need to import Axios.
Oops. Oh my gosh.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay, save that. See if it compiles. All right. Let's go and check it out. Go ahead and bring up the React app. And then, so you're going to go and put the / oh, first of all, open up your debugging tools and go to the console, and then put /edit /3 or 2. No, in the address.
Oh.
Ooh. And we're back with new clothing, aren't we? How did that happen, Jonathan?
It went from night to day, or day to night.
It went from day to night all of a sudden. Yeah, so there's a reason to the madness. And the reason is because we ran into some problem in our recording. And it was a knowledge-based problem where we got stuck and we decided, you know what, let's take a pause. Let's do some research and let's smooth out the wrinkles that we ran into. And so I went out, did some research, of course. Yeah. 20 years later, after I've been working on this, I still need to do research occasionally. But we came up with a really good solution, and so we're about to show you. So Jonathan, share your screen.
All right.
All right. So yeah, you can go ahead and fire up the Visual Studio API. Fire that puppy up.
All right.
Oh, no, not this one. Just the API.
Oh.
Yeah, fire up the API.
Cool. Well, they're both fired up now.
Oh, okay. That's cool. All right. So let's go and look at edit birthdays 2, because that's where we really dropped the ball on this thing. And let's go ahead and get rid of lines 15 through 22. We'll recreate that. Yeah. And then I want to add another field in between 6 and 7, and let's call it ID. And let's just use 0. I think 0 would be perfectly fine. Or -1. -1, yeah. And then we also want to set up DOB to be a null value as well, even though we don't allow nulls in the date of birth. We only now allow it in the date of death. All right, so this gives us a good start. So this is basically what we need our object to be, okay, in order to start displaying. Let's go check out the inputs, and let's go check out the date of birth. The input tags, yeah. So let's look at the input tag on line 34.
Okay.
This is DOB, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we want to do, you see how the value says person.dob. If we run this right now, it's going to error. It's going to say, hey, a null is not allowed in date, okay? So what we need to add at the end of DOB, but inside the curly brace, let's go ahead and press space and do a question mark. And go ahead and put a space. And then just go ahead and type in person.dob again. And then go ahead and put another space, and we'll do a colon. And then another space, and then empty quotes.
Single or double?
Either one, that was fine. Now, there's one other thing, right? So what we need to put is we need to put an exclamation right before person, but after the curly brace on line 38. So what this is doing, this is an if condition. It says if the person is, or the person.dob is nothing, and we reverse that by putting the exclamation, by putting the not symbol, saying if it's something, then go ahead and display person.dob. Otherwise, just give me some empty values. And so that's essentially what it's doing. We need to do the same thing to DOD. DOD, not DOB. The input for DOD. Yep, right there on line 50. Oops. Pardon.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa. What's happening here? Cool. So that's birthday, edit birthday 2, right?
Yes.
Let's go and do we have edit birthday 2 set up in our navigation? Can we go look at the menu? Do we call it menu or navigation? Oh, you know what? I think it's inside the app.js.
No.
Oh, it must be in the index. Index.js. No. Where do we put it? Let's go look at app.js again. I thought that's where we put the navigation. Yeah, there it is.
Oh.
Yeah. That's it right there. So let's see here. If we add something, we're going to go to birthday 2. Did you import birthday 2 yet?
Yes.
Okay, nice. All right. So that's going to be add, and that's going to go to birthday 2. And then if we edit, we'll go to edit birthday. That's cool. That works perfectly fine. Okay, so now let's go ahead and save all these files, and let's go to the webs to the browser and see how this looks so far. One step at a time, Jonathan. I went for a jog earlier. Man, I'm thirsty right now. It says it cannot read props of birthdays. So let's get rid of that props equals this.props on line 61 of birth date. I think it's going to be under the app.js.
Oh.
The app.js. Yeah, you see on line 61 where it says props equals this.props. Let's get rid of that. Not the closing tag. Yeah. There you go. Let's save that and then go back to the browser, see what that looks like now. See if we got something.
Right.
Nice. Okay. So if we go to add, go ahead and bring up add. Hey, look at that. And let's go ahead and open up the debugger. And let's go look at the console, see if there's any errors in there. Oh, a lot of errors. What is it complaining about here? On change. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So we have to go and do a couple of things with on change because, all right, let's go back to Visual Studio Code and let's fix those problems. One problem at a time, Jonathan.
All right.
So edit birthday 2.js. Let's go look at that. And let's start with the full name. Let's start with that. So this right here, input type text, class form control, ID full name, value equals that, placeholder, and it's required. We don't have an on change in here, okay? So that's what we need to go do. We need to go set up an on change so that we can update the person object, all right? So after line 14, give me a couple of empty lines there. And let's go ahead and start. We're going to say constant, C-O-N-S-T. Yep, perfect. And let's call it handle change. This is going to handle the on change event. And this is going to be equal to a function, and then the fat arrow with the curly braces. So it's going to be handle change equals open close parenthesis. And inside the parentheses, we're going to need E for the event, the parameter that's being passed in, lowercase e.
Oh.
Yeah, and then that outside the parenthesis will say fat arrow, open close, curly brace. Excellent. All right. So one, we need to grab the ID and the value. So let's do let key equal e.target.id. Let key.
Oh, key.
Yeah, let key equal e.target.id. And then close that off with the semicolon. And then we need to grab the value. So we'll say let val equals e.target.value. Got to find the equal sign, don't? Did they move it on you?
Yep.
e.target.value. Tag it. And then finish that off with the semicolon. And let's just console that out to the, so do a console log. And then just put key comma value. Oh, inside the log, you got to put the open close parenthesis. And then put key comma value inside the parenthesis, or key comma val. So yeah, so you're going to want to put the key and comma val inside the parentheses of the log. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you don't need the equal sign. But you will need a semicolon on line 18 as well. And let's run this. Oh, well, first of all, we got to put after line 31 or after line 30, I would say. After line 30, on change equals handle change, and handle change goes inside of the curly braces. So this is on change equals
handle change.
Yeah, so it'll be on change equals.
Oh.
And then open up curly braces and then put handle change inside the curly braces. There you go. Cool. And you get rid of that space in between the equal and the. So let's save this and see what it looks like in the browser. All right, so let's go and add. And go ahead and start typing in the full name and see what comes up in the console. Can you scroll down on the console? I think the console is it's halfway up. Okay, so it's grabbing the value and it's grabbing it from the full name, from the input full name. So we're off to a good start here. All right. All right. Let's go back to code. One step at a time, Jonathan. One step at a time. All right, let's go back to the handle change method. It's those details, Jonathan. I was wondering, like, what the heck, man? Oh, yeah, put some different dates.
Oh, there it is.
What?
It works.
What?
We made it work.
Okay. Now, let's go add another one. Add
Okay.
I don't know, add Mickey Mouse or something. Mickey Mouse, build a house. How many bricks did it take? Then some heavy metal in the background. 1, 2, 3. Girl. Oh man, that hurt my throat. I don't know how those heavy metalists do it.
Disneyland.
Touchdown. All right. So now we need to go and edit these.
Yes.
Let's go and look at your, well, first of all, let's go look at your birthday list, birthdaylist.js. And what I'd like to do is on line, can you scroll down to the table? Yeah, on line 31, let's change that ID to say action, camera, lights, camera, action. And then on line 43, let's change that to include a button. So let's go ahead and get rid of the curly braces and the element ID. And in here, we're gonna add a button element. So, yep, button. And this button is going to have an on click. So, oh no, close those. Yeah, you don't need it because it'll be a self-closing tag, which means that you just put a / at the end.
Got it.
Click. But your on click needs to be inside the close angle bracket because it's an attribute of the button. All right. So this on click is going to be equal to. Now here's the crux of the whole thing. Let's get rid of those spaces. And then open up the curly braces. We're gonna have to curry the function, okay? And it's not the curry that you eat, okay? I don't know why they call it curry. I think they meant to call it courier, but because it doesn't sound right to say courier the function. So as a courier, right, is like basically UPS is a courier that a merchant uses to send packages to the customers or the consumer's home, right? So Amazon is a merchant. They use Amazon delivery, UPS, USPS, and they're the courier. And then you're the recipient. So what we got to do is we got to curry the function. Okay. So normally when you press the on click, whatever function you have to handle the click has to receive an event. And so that event has a lot of information about that button. Okay. But we don't want the information on the button. What we want is we want the ID of the record. Okay. So we're just going to go and say open close parenthesis, and we'll put an E inside of there. And this represents an anonymous function. We're going to say, yeah. We know that you want a function that receives the event. And then we're going to say fat arrow. But what we're going to call handle click. And inside the handle or inside parentheses, handle click, and then open close parenthesis. Inside there, we're gonna pass in lm.id. All right, so that's basically currying the function. Okay, so let's go up on top where we're going to need to we're going to have to write that handle click function. So you can write it after line 21. Or that's fine. I guess where you're at, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's going to be constant. Oh, no. I'm sorry. This is just going to be handle click equals ID, lowercase I, lowercase d, and then fat arrow, and then open close curly braces. Okay, and then that's going to be the body, so press enter. And let's just do a console.log ID. Let's just see what that does. And let's fix the indentation as well. So you can highlight 13 through 15 and then just press tab. Yeah, okay. Let's go back down to the click on that button. And we need to change the handle click to this dot handle click. All right, let's save it and let's see what this looks like.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what happened? What does it say?
Expecting closing tag for button. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got to put the / at the end. There you go. Save that puppy.
All righty.
Okay, so if we, inside, you know what? You were right, Jonathan. You need the closing tag, and then you need the other closing, open close tags with the / on it, because we need to put a value in there. Dang it, you took me to school today. Ha ha, the student has become the teacher. And I just say edit, call it edit, and lowercase, because we're gonna make it small. All right, let's save that and see how that looks.
Hey.
All right, so if you click it, what comes up in the console? Oh, let's click another one.
14.
Oh,
All right. 25.
all right, so we have the ID, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go look at the Swagger API and let's look at what we're gonna do with that ID. So when we go to delete, you see how we have to pass in a birth date ID?
Okay.
That's the URL that we're gonna call.
Oh.
Yeah, put 25 in there. Or 35. So that's the URL that we're gonna call. That 25 gets replaced with the ID. All right. So let's go ahead and call that. Let's go and copy that and let's go back to our code. Yeah. So we get to delete it and we're going to reload it. We're going to let the server do the work. Let's go ahead and save this and see what we get. And there's different ways to handle it. Okay. We don't have to do it this way. So go ahead and, whoa, it just deletes it.
Yeah.
You know, that button can look nicer. Let's go and format that button. We have Bootstrap, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Seven. Let's switch line 57 with 60.
Oh, wait. How do you do that move thing?
Oh, it's, yeah, so just put your cursor in Alt, up arrow. Look at you, fancy. I think you need to go up on one. Up one.
There we go.
There it is. Let's try that. Let's see. Let's save that. A lot of times the position of these matters. So let's go back to the list. And then let's go back to the add. Yeah, error free.
Yeah.
Is he there?
Yep.
Okay, so now we need to add the edit button.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go into the birthday list. And yeah, this is going to be ugly, but it's okay. So let's put button on a separate line. That basically creates an anchor tag with that link in there. Let's save it and see if it works. And if it does, I'm doing the end zone dance.
Oh yeah, we got it on there, but it's
It's a little cramped for its style, isn't it?
yeah.
Let's see what it happens if you hit the edit.
Oh yeah.
What? Let's change something and save it.
Uh,
Tent crunchy.
crunchy.
Tech crunchy.
Oh, it's not letting me.
Oh, interesting.
No.
What is going on with that? Can you try the full name?
The full name. No.
Oh, interesting. Okay, let's go and oh, I know why. Can we go look at edit birthday 2? Okay, so let's go line by line here. So we got use history, we got use params because we're getting the params. We're setting the initial state. We're logging the person, and then we're handling the change. Keep on scrolling down. And then we're using use effect. Oh, use effect. Can we go back to the browser? I want to see something. And then clear the history. Clear the history on the yeah, hit you see that universal no on the second line to the left?
Oh.
Yeah, you see how it continuously loading?
Yeah.
So we need to stop that from happening. And the way that we do that, this is what it's a pain in the ass. Okay, so on line 34, right between the closing curly brace and the closing parenthesis, put a comma and open and close square bracket. Square bracket, yeah, save that. And let's go back to the browser, go back to the list.
Oh, yeah.
Go back to the list and then click on one of them and then go change something. And then save it. There it is, it worked. Now let's go do Orson Welles. And let's change him.
All right.
Orson Welles. Oh, it added a new one. Here's a problem. Okay. Let's go back to edit birthday 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the handle click on line 36, we have to do one or the other. We have to do a post or we have to do a put. And it all depends if the ID is equal to new. So if the ID is equal to new, we're going to do a post. Otherwise, we need to do a put. So go ahead and cut 37 through 41. Cut that. Cut it, man. Just cut it.
Good.
And put if open parenthesis ID triple equals new inside of quotes. And then all the way to the end. Go ahead and start the body of the if with curly braces. And paste that puppy in there. Paste what you cut. All right. And so on line 43, you're going to do space else, and then space open, close, curly braces. And then go ahead and press enter. And go ahead and paste that same thing again. But this time change the post to a put on line 44. So yeah, you see what's going on there? Let's give it a shot. Let's go delete Orson Welles. And let's go edit the Orson Welles. Uh-oh. Request failed with 405. Let's go look at Swagger and see how that put works. Oh, we have to pass the birth date ID as well. Okay. So let's go back to the code and modify that put. So you see on the put, you got the URL. Put that URL inside of the backtick so that we can do string interpolation. And then at the end of birth date, put /, and then the $sign and the curly braces. And you're going to put person.id. Save it and try it. Let's see what we get. Did it refresh?
It refreshed, yeah.
All right, let's give it a shot. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
No.
Ho, 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 ho. Let's add one. Let's add me. Add me. Victor. Let me see. I want to be born April 1st, 1976. And then, yeah, my notoriety is that I talk a lot. All right. Did I come out?
Yeah.
All right. Let's edit and then change my notoriety to co-host of the Road to Code podcast. Co-host. R2C. Excellent. Look at that.
Yeah.
We got crud going on here, Jonathan.
This is it. We're living.
We're living. I think this is a good place to stop. I mean, things are working. You don't want to break anything else, okay? Let's push this code. Do we have that? Are we able to push this to source control?
I don't think we've pushed this yet.
Let's go ahead and push this. I think you can go, you see where it says there's a little 26 bubble on the upper left-hand corner of your editor?
Oh, yeah.
Click on there. And I believe, yeah, you get a working CRUD. Put your message in there. And then I think if you hit the little check mark, yeah. And then hit the little 3 dots and we can push. Nice. So that's in source control. People can go. Yeah, sure. People can go and check out the code. There's a code for the API. Is the code for the API is all checked in? Can we go look at that code?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, cool. So that's all checked in. Go to Git changes over on your bottom right. Yeah, 0 outgoing, 0 incoming. Cool. Sweet. Oof, man,
That
that was some work, wasn't it?
was, yeah.
But I think at the end, it's so much easier from an end user's point of view to work with the browser than to work with the console, huh?
Mhm.
And then even as a developer, it's so much easier to work with that API and let that mapping occur, once the responses come back from the Ajax calls.
Mhm.
I think that's kind of cool. Full crud on significance. And
Yeah.
so I think on the next episode we'll do a little bit of sprucing up. When you hit that delete, man, that thing just goes, and we gotta whoa, wait a second, slow the roll. What if I click on the wrong one? So there's some libraries out there that will give you this little prop up and say, hey, are you sure you want to delete this? And you click yes or no. And once you hit yeah, then it's gone. But if you hit cancel, at least it won't delete anything in case you accidentally do it. I think this is a good stopping point. We did
Yeah.
good, man. We did good. This is some fun stuff. So how you feeling?
Feeling good. We got the whole thing working now.
Sweet. All right. I think this is a good place
Cool. Until the next episode.
of the road to code. Peace out.
Peace out.